What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are in one of the most spectacular cities in all of Europe. We are in Barcelona, Spain. And this city has everything. World-class architecture that looks like it came out of a dream. A coastline that gives you the Mediterranean Sea at its most beautiful. A food scene that has been influencing how the rest of the world eats for decades. And a nightlife that does not even begin until most other cities have already gone to bed. Barcelona is genuinely one of the great cities on earth, and if you have never been, it belongs at the very top of your list. But here is the thing I need to address immediately before we go any further. Barcelona has a reputation, and it is a deserved one, for being a place where your travel budget can disappear faster than you expect. The tourist restaurants on La Rambla, the overpriced cocktail bars in the Gothic Quarter, the entry fees for every landmark, the taxis when you do not know the transit system. All of it adds up quickly, and before you know it, you are 3 days into a 5-day trip, and you are doing the mental arithmetic that nobody wants to do on holiday. So today, we are doing the ultimate challenge. 24 hours in Barcelona for under $50. And I want to be absolutely clear about what this means because it does not mean surviving. It does not mean eating bad food and standing outside of everything and watching the city from a distance. It means hitting the most iconic Gaudi architecture in the city, eating authentic local food that is genuinely delicious, drinking good local wine, navigating the transit system like someone who actually lives here, and watching the sun go down over one of the most beautiful cityscapes in Europe. All of it. Under $50. Let us find out exactly how to do it. The day starts with the most important decision you will make, and it is a transportation decision. Do not buy individual metro tickets in Barcelona. I know it seems simple to just buy one ticket at a time as you need it, but individual tickets cost over €2.50 each, and across a full day of moving around this city that adds up into a number that does not belong in a budget travel day. Instead, go to the automated ticket machines at any metro station and buy the T-Casual card. This card costs around €12.15 and gives you 10 rides across the metro, the buses, and the trams. It also includes free transfers within a 75-minute window, which means if you need to change lines or hop on a bus to complete a journey, that transfer costs you nothing extra. For our 24-hour challenge, sharing the card or using just a portion of the rides brings our total transport cost for the entire day to approximately $4. That is it. $4 to move around one of Europe's greatest cities all day long. Buy the T-Casual card. This is non-negotiable. Now you need breakfast, and the place you eat breakfast in Barcelona will determine whether you start the day feeling like a tourist or feeling like someone who actually knows this city. The tourist mistake is eating anywhere on or near La Rambla, the famous pedestrian boulevard that runs through the center of the city. La Rambla is beautiful. It is iconic. And the cafes on it will charge you €5 for a basic coffee, which in a country where coffee culture is as serious and as affordable as it is in Spain, is genuinely offensive. Walk away from La Rambla. Walk 3 blocks in either direction into the residential streets of the El Born neighborhood or the Gothic Quarter, and the city changes immediately. The streets get narrower, the cafes get more local, and the prices reflect what people who actually live here are willing to pay. Find a local panaderia, which is simply a bakery, and order 2 things. A café con leche, which is a coffee with hot milk and is the way most Spaniards drink their morning coffee, and a fresh croissant. A proper café con leche in a neighborhood bakery in Barcelona is one of the small daily pleasures of European life. Strong, hot, perfectly balanced, nothing like the milky approximation you get at chain coffee shops. The croissant should be buttery and flaky and warm from the oven. The total for both should come in at around $3.50. You are starting the day well-fed, well-caffeinated, and significantly under budget. Running total at this point is $7.50. Now we go to Gaudi, because you absolutely cannot come to Barcelona without engaging with the work of Antoni Gaudi, the architect who gave this city its most recognizable identity and whose buildings are unlike anything else constructed anywhere on Earth before or since. The question for the budget traveler is how to experience Gaudi without paying for every interior, and the answer is more satisfying than you might expect. La Sagrada Familia is the starting point. The famous cathedral that Gaudi began in 1882, and that is, remarkably, still under construction over 100 years later, is one of the most extraordinary buildings in the world. The interior is spectacular, and a ticket inside will cost you around $30. On our budget, that is not happening today. But here is what the travel guides do not tell you loudly enough. The exterior of La Sagrada Familia is where the most astonishing detail lives. The Nativity facade on the eastern side is a wall of stone carving so intricate, so densely layered with figures and symbols and organic forms, that you can stand in front of it for 20 minutes and still be finding new things to look at. Walking the full perimeter of the cathedral costs absolutely nothing. And for the best photographic angle, cross to the small park called Plaça de Gaudí on the northern side, where the reflection pool in front of the cathedral gives you the classic symmetrical view of both towers that you have seen in every Barcelona photograph. Zero cost. Perfect result. From La Sagrada Familia, take a 20-minute walk or a quick metro ride down to Passeig de Gràcia, which is one of the great boulevards of European architecture. This is where Gaudí's two most celebrated residential buildings stand side by side, and where you can experience the full surrealist brilliance of his domestic work from the street for free. Casa Batlló is the one that stops people in their tracks. The facade covered in shimmering blue and green ceramic tiles, the roof shaped like the back of a dragon, the balconies that look like the bones of a sea creature. Casa Milà, a few blocks further, is nicknamed La Pedrera, which means the quarry, because the entire facade is made of undulating stone that looks as though it was carved by water rather than built by human hands. Both buildings have paid interiors. Both exteriors are accessible from the pavement and are genuinely among the most remarkable things you will see anywhere in Europe. Stand in front of them. Look at them properly. They are free and they are extraordinary. By the time you have done La Sagrada Familia and Passeig de Gràcia, it is around 1 in the afternoon and you need a snack before lunch. The move here is a traditional granja, which is a historic-style Spanish dairy shop and cafe, and what you are ordering is churros con chocolate. This is not a tourist approximation of Spanish street food. This is genuinely one of the great snack experiences of European food culture. The churros are fried fresh, golden and crispy on the outside, soft inside, lightly dusted with sugar. The chocolate they come with is extraordinarily thick, not a drinking chocolate, but a deep, dense, almost solid chocolate sauce that coats the churro completely when you dip it. A plate of churros and chocolate in a traditional granja costs around $4.50, and it is one of those food experiences that you will think about long after the trip is over. Running total is now $12. Lunchtime in Barcelona, and this is where I need to redirect you firmly away from the advice you will find in most travel guides. Most guides will tell you to go to La Boqueria, the famous covered market on La Rambla. Do not go to La Boqueria for lunch. It is genuinely beautiful as a market space. The produce and the stalls are visually extraordinary. But it is also one of the most tourist-saturated spaces in all of Barcelona. The prices reflect that entirely, and the experience of trying to eat there on a market day is more stressful than it is pleasurable. The locals do not eat there. They have not eaten there in a long time. Instead, go to the Mercat de Santa Caterina in the El Born neighborhood. It is a 10-minute walk from La Boqueria, and it exists in a completely different world. Santa Caterina has one of the most spectacular roof structures of any market building in Europe, a vast undulating mosaic canopy of more than 300,000 ceramic tiles in an explosion of color that covers the entire market like a living painting. Inside, this is where the actual residents of Barcelona shop for their actual food. The prices are what food prices should be. The quality is exceptional, and the atmosphere is of a place that is serving a community rather than performing for visitors. For lunch at Santa Caterina, do not sit down at a restaurant. Build a picnic instead, because what the charcuterie and cheese stalls at this market can put together for you is better than what most sit-down restaurants in this price range will serve you. Pick up some jamón serrano, Spanish cured ham, sliced thin, deep red, with a complexity of flavor that cheap cured meats elsewhere cannot approach. Add a wedge of queso manchego, sheep's milk cheese from the La Mancha region, firm and nutty and perfect with the ham. Get a fresh baguette from the bakery stall and eat it all in the square outside the market. A lunch at this level of quality from one of Europe's great food markets costs $9. Running total is $21. The afternoon is for views, and Barcelona delivers views in two distinct ways that serve our budget perfectly. The first option is Park Güell, Gaudi's extraordinary hilltop park on the northern slope of the city, where the monumental zone of mosaic terraces and sculptural gatehouses requires a paid ticket, but the surrounding forested parkland is completely free. Walking the paths through the free zone of Park Güell gives you elevated views over the city and the Mediterranean beyond, and it gives you the surrounding architectural context of one of Gaudi's most ambitious public projects without the cost of the ticketed area. But if you want the single greatest view available in Barcelona, and I mean this genuinely, the view that surpasses every rooftop bar and every paid observation deck and every tourist viewpoint in the city, you go to the Bunkers del Carmel. These are the ruins of anti-aircraft batteries built during the Spanish Civil War on the hilltop above the Carmel neighborhood. They have been a completely free public space for years, and they are one of Barcelona's best-kept open secrets that is slowly but inevitably becoming less of a secret. From the top of the bunkers, you get a full 360-degree panoramic view of Barcelona, the entire city grid spreading out below you to the sea, the Sagrada Familia visible in the middle distance, the Mediterranean defining the horizon to the east. In the late afternoon when the sun is getting lower and the city is going gold, this is one of the most beautiful urban views available anywhere in Europe. Stop at a local supermarket on the way up and buy a bottle of Spanish wine. This is not a compromise. Spanish wine at the local supermarket level in Spain is genuinely, surprisingly good, and a perfectly drinkable bottle will cost you $3.50. Sit on the old concrete ruins with your wine, watch the sun move toward the horizon, listen to the city humming far below you, and spend an hour or two in one of the great free experiences that any city in the world has to offer. Running total at this point is $24.50, and the evening has not even started yet. Dinner in Barcelona does not start until 9 or 10 in the evening. This is not an exaggeration or a cultural stereotype. It is simply how Spanish life is structured, and it is one of the things that makes eating in Spain such a genuinely pleasurable cultural experience. The city does not rush. The meal is not something to get through before the next thing. It is the thing. Embrace it. For dinner on our budget challenge, the destination is El Raval, or Poblsec, two neighborhoods that are more local and less polished than the Gothic Quarter tourist zone. And the specific experience you are looking for is a pinchos bar. Pinchos, pronounced pinchos, are a Basque-style tradition that has spread beautifully across Barcelona and represent perhaps the single greatest budget food hack in Spain. Here is how it works. You walk into a bar where the entire counter is lined with small pieces of bread, each one topped with something different and held together with a toothpick. Chorizo, goat cheese with honey and walnuts. Stuffed peppers, anchovies with olives, tortilla española, mushrooms with garlic. You take a plate and you pick whatever looks good, however many pieces you want. At the end of the evening, the bartender counts your toothpicks, and that is your bill. No menu to navigate. No decisions to make up front. No waiting for a waiter. Just point, take, eat, enjoy. Each pine texo costs somewhere between $1.50 and $2.50. Order 5 of them, which is a completely satisfying dinner by any reasonable measure. Add a small glass of local draft beer, ordered in Spain as una caña, and your total for a dinner that would not embarrass itself in any food capital in the world comes to $13. Running total is now $37.50, and we still have the beach to finish the evening. After dinner, take the metro down to Barceloneta, the beach neighborhood that sits right on the Mediterranean at the foot of the city. The beach boardwalk at Barceloneta at night is one of the genuinely lovely free experiences that Barcelona offers without any fanfare or promotion. The sea is there, dark and enormous and present. Street musicians set up along the promenade and play with a quality and a passion that is worth stopping for. The city lights reflect across the water. The air coming off the Mediterranean in the evening is warm and carries that specific combination of salt and summer that exists only at the Mediterranean coast. Walk it slowly. Let the day settle. The cost of this final experience is $0. The full day tallies up to $37.50.